Oh, shit. Here we go again.
What is up, my pizzas? Cory Vincent here, and this is a brand new episode of the video game Bang, Sacramento's #1 geek and gaming podcast. And let's just start this thing off right by talking to the guy on my left. You know him, you love him. He's a dear friend of mine, Curtis Fisher.
Hey, what's going on? Happy to report that I won another Kingsguard contest.
Well, no,
I'm telling you, it's because you're the only one watching.
Wait, you won the gear?
No, I didn't win the gear
Okay.
because we are gonna win the gear.
Yeah,
well,
we gotta
we
win
meaning
that.
all of us except for Emma because she probably won't wear.
Emma didn't enter.
Or at least she didn't. Did you enter? Did you even enter, Emma?
No.
No, it was me. It was us three and Jay Giz.
Emma should have entered because then if she won, she could just give it to us. But whatever.
No, she would watch us, and just give it away to somebody else.
Or light it on
in front of
fire.
us,
Look
or
you
light
dead
on
in the
fire.
eye
And then
and give it
just-
to somebody
Yeah.
else.
That's so cold.
Donate it.
I'd be like, you can have this on the one condition that you don't give it to that man right there.
Dang.
He's gonna ask you.
So cold-blooded. Well, Emma, I will have you know, it's not just me anymore because I came in second place, so I didn't win an Xbox. But I didn't even need an Xbox. I won some VC, so virtual currency.
Hey.
There you go.
Not gonna chip into my pocket anymore because I don't even want to tell everybody how much I've spent on NBA 2K.
What's going on, David Webb?
Yo, what's going on? Speaking of NBA 2K, I picked it up. Well, I picked it back up.
Hey,
Yeah,
I had it
you-
already.
You bought that a while ago.
Yeah, well, I bought it on the Switch, and then I got it on the Xbox for my birthday. So I started playing it on the Xbox, and infinitely better on the Xbox than I was on the Switch.
nice.
There you go.
The controls are just easier
Yep.
on the Xbox.
Way better, but better graphics too, right?
Better
Get a full
graphics.
60 frames.
60 frames. Anthony Mackie looks like Anthony Mackie.
Yes.
Not like, that guy looks like Anthony Mackie.
Or does he look like Falcon? Probably looks.
It looks
more
like Anthony Mackie if I had an astigmatism.
Holy, she's spicy today.
Accurate. Well, actually, she got a full night's rest, so I'm not sure what to expect from Emma Skies. How you doing?
I'm good. I did. I fell asleep at 9 p.m. and woke up at 9 a.m. and I don't know what happened.
Holy crap.
I went, okay.
So how'd you fall asleep at 9? Like you were talking
I
about
just
having
passed out.
You passed out from exhaustion?
Her
You
body
saw-
was like, I'm done. This is it.
Yeah, well, what were the effects of this? Do you feel like a happier person? or
I got some shit done today. I was productive. I did some sewing. I was, it was productive.
Wow.
I don't know what to do with myself.
Why don't you do it more often? Do you like this feeling?
I don't know. It's different. It's scary.
It's too much responsibility.
It
I don't
is.
like it.
She's becoming an adult in front of our very eyes, guys. This is very nice. You guys went out and saw a movie, Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
Please tell me, give me the spark notes. Is this something I should go see?
It's way better than I thought it was going to be.
I would like to retract my earlier statement that this movie looked like, quote, very expensive garbage.
I do remember you saying that.
I would like to retract that.
We have a retraction, everybody.
Yes.
Retraction.
And what does it look like instead?
It's cute.
It's cute.
It looks like
Yeah.
very expensive nostalgia.
For the amount of times that Emma shit on this movie, actually sitting there next to her watching it, the amount of times that she said, "Aww," pretty fucking ridiculous.
It's so cute. It was so cute.
So here's my question I'd like you guys to answer. I was the one who wanted for so bad. I thought if we're going to get our first Pokemon movie, why start with Detective Pikachu? Why can't we just get Ash Ketchum or Red, starting
Yeah.
from Pewter Town and fighting gyms to become a Pokemon master?
I think this was better.
Why? Sell me on it.
Because I've seen all those movies before. Like, we've had Pokemon movies. I don't need another one of those.
Okay.
So, this was good. This was a good change of pace.
This was a good self-contained story.
Yeah, and
like,
it was-
something like that would take it'd be a series basically, and then now this is a good self-contained, and then if they want to do more, then they can.
Or they would try to make a whole, what should be a series into a single movie, and it would be bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But this was more about, for me, it was more about the world in which the Pokemon exist.
Okay. I'm hearing best video game movie ever. What do you guys think of that statement?
I mean, that's not a very high bar.
Exactly.
That's true. That's
Is
true.
it technically a video game movie though?
Detective
Because it was-
Pikachu was a game. It was a handheld
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go. I was gonna say I don't know if I'd go that far, but I don't know what else has been particularly better.
So that's a yes.
I don't know.
But by
I
default.
won't even say that because I don't know that it's better than everything else. I mean, it was all right. It was cute. The story was all right. I got the whole thing spoiled for me a couple days ago.
Well, how did they spoil it? Is there like a big twist?
Yeah, actually,
Really?
So Emma obviously knew about it already. Steven said that he saw it coming. I honestly did not see it coming.
I would have seen it coming if I hadn't known it. Like it's telegraphed, I think, pretty well throughout the movie.
Maybe I just was just like I was just tired, so I was just watching it to watch it, and I wasn't trying to like analyze it. I was just like, I'm gonna watch Ryan Reynolds be Pikachu.
Yeah.
Curtis, any interest in seeing Detective Pikachu?
A little bit more now. I mean, I do have 2 progeny, so it is something that I can take them to and, buy a bunch of popcorn, probably spend $250 just to watch Ryan Reynolds say, Pika, Pika. And my kids would probably love me for it, so why not?
It wasn't as, I didn't sit there and watch it and think, this is Deadpool.
Oh, I did.
As much as, I did, but not as much as I thought I was going to.
It's Deadpool without the language.
Is it?
So it's Captain America approved?
That's
Is
something.
it though?
It feels like cool because Deadpool is very Ryan Reynolds. And
Ryan Reynolds is just Ryan Reynolds. He's like that
he's
in
just,
every movie he's
right.
in,
He
though.
just plays the same character. He's just typecast.
Yeah.
And so you can't separate one from the other, I think. Because it's the same thing. Like when I watched The Hitman's Bodyguard, I was like, this is Deadpool as a bodyguard.
Waiting is just Deadpool
Okay, so
as a server.
That I will give you. That was 100%.
Because he was allowed to have language.
Yeah. And he's sitting there and he's talking to like the hot dog cart person while there's like shit going on behind them. It's very Deadpool-esque.
One thing we do is we do record this in front of a live Twitch audience, and they get to chime in every once in a while. Nerdy Nick 91 says Detective Pikachu was a 9.3 out of 10. Agree or disagree?
No.
9.3 out of
Way
10.
too
That's
high.
high.
Way too
That
high.
is high.
Uh,
I would
oh.
say 8.3.
He said, okay, the next comment was liked it better than Endgame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa!
Nick,
was
is there?
loud.
That's how we ban people.
Yeah.
You keep that up.
Yeah.
Keep that trolling up. You get banned.
I would give it like a 7.5, maybe.
7.5. Yeah, 7.5.
Short nerdy
8.
man. He says 8 out of 10.
That's fine.
That's fine. Fair. All right.
Yeah, I'd go
everybody has,
7.5.
you know,
7.5.
Everybody's entitled to their wrong opinion. That's cool.
This show is also brought to you by Oblivion Comics and Coffee, Mainframe.gg, Vast.gg, and Energy Esports. Another thing I wanted to get to is we got to address the elephant in the room, and this will be like our pre-show because
The non-elephant in the room?
yeah, you are way too smart. See what happens when she gets a full night's sleep? God
I know,
damn,
right?
She's operating on a whole other level.
We're not ready for it.
Game of Thrones, everybody. We've been doing a podcast called Bang of Thrones, Patreon exclusive,
That's what I have to say about
and it's been a great experience for us to bond over a show that we
Hate.
love.
Hate.
Loved, hate.
Loved past tense.
I
Love
cannot-
to hate now.
Reconcile how excited I was for Game of Thrones barely a month ago with how much I viscerally hate it now.
So if you guys, it's only $1 on our Patreon, patreon.com/videogamebang, and you get access. We're going to record it tonight, so there will be a very, very short after show where we're going to induct our latest patron onto the wall of Bang, and then we're going to get into recording that. But David, just initial thoughts.
Okay, kind of like what Emma said. Like looking back a month ago and how excited I was for it to start. Going into our final episode, I'm just like, ugh, let's just watch it. Let's just be done. I'm going to treat Game of Thrones the same way I treat Scrubs. There's only 8 seasons of Scrubs.
Curtis, you've been kind of on the outside looking in, and then you're seeing the backlash and the reactions and stuff. How is it as bad as we're making it out?
I even me with this being the first season that I'm like current on watching and everything, absolutely, yeah. Like at first when you guys were complaining in the beginning, I was like, this is some pretty good writing for TV, guys. I don't know what the big deal is, like.
Because you don't have anything to compare it to.
Right, exactly. So for me, I'm coming in, and that I don't have anything to compare it to. I have to judge it based off of what I am experiencing. At first, I was like, this is pretty decent. And then just the few things that they set up just to resolve right there, I'm already like, how are you guys botching this? That you have to try to screw up this bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's as bad as you guys claim. And so, which really means it's even worse because I don't even know all what you guys know.
Ugh. So
You're missing so much context for what it could have been and what it should have been.
Right, I agree.
You know,
I hate this show.
It's in my nature, and I'm gonna have to do it. But I'm ready to play a little devil's advocate because I have a feeling that there's gonna be some things that I'm okay with, but I think it's all in the execution. I'm perfectly fine with some of the major decisions. If you take a helicopter up into the sky and look down, I'm like, okay, I could see why you would do this thing. But how they got from A to B,
that's the problem.
Is a huge issue.
I think Emma and I have been arguing that very thing for, let's see, it was
like 4 days.
For 4 days. So we're prepared to battle a devil's advocate because that's all we've been battling.
But yes, we will have a whole podcast about that on Patreon.
So, and then the last thing I want to do is kind of like an update because it's not necessarily news, but what's going on with Hulu and Disney?
All right, so I'm going to try and talk about this in the least confusing way possible. And keep in mind, even I'm confused about this. I'm not entirely certain how this all works. But basically, as of... What?
Emma's so smart. Even I'm confused.
Wow.
Guys, so you're definitely going to be confused.
How can I put this in a way for you guys? Because even I'm confused.
Fucking dipshits.
That's horrible and not at all what I meant.
I mean,
Emma got that full night of sleep, right?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I have a full night of sleep and I'm Emma and I still don't know. So
you're all bitches.
You dipshits aren't going to know anything.
What I mean is that you're getting this explanation from somebody who is also confused. Is the point that I'm making.
Way better phrasing.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You know what? No. I meant what I said and I said what I meant. Fuck you.
I know.
I
know. It's fine.
No, so even I'm like confused about this, so I'm not entirely certain I'm going to be explaining this right. But basically, the TLDR is that Disney now has full operational control of Hulu. How we got there is that after they bought out Fox, I lost my train of thought because Webb started laughing. After they bought out Fox, they had roughly 60%. So they had a controlling stake of Hulu. They owned 60% because they had Disney's original shares, plus they got Fox's like 30%. So they now had 60%. And then there were rumors that they were going to buy Comcast out of their shares, which was another 30%. So there are 33%, something like that. But basically, there were rumors they might buy them out. We weren't really sure where that was going to go. And now it seems like they have put in place something called a put-call deal. And I'm not entirely certain I understand quite how that works. But basically...
I think I have it. I think my analogy
I know
good.
you think you have it, but I don't know that it's right.
It sounds like it, though. Oh, explain the put-call clause, and then I will make my analogy. And the people can decide.
As I understand it, right now Disney has operational control of Comcast's current 30 whatever percent.
Right.
So they don't own the shares, but they do control the shares.
Yes.
In 5 years, in 2024, Comcast has to sell those shares. They cannot keep them. They have to sell them. So they can either sell them to Disney. Disney can buy them. They basically get first dibs. Or they have to sell them off to whoever at a fair market price.
Right.
So your analogy...
So my analogy is they're essentially leasing these shares. You go to a car dealership and you say, I want this car. I'm going to lease it. I don't own the car. I have operational control of the car. And then in 5 years, when the lease term is up, then I can come and say, yeah, I'm going to buy it. Or no, I don't want it. And then the dealership has to then sell that car to somebody else because they can't release it and they can't just like hold on to it. They have to sell it.
Fair enough.
Boom.
Fair enough.
Did he
Makes
do
sense
it?
to me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's 5 hours of sleep.
I think so. But again, like, I don't really understand how this works entirely, so I can't say whether or not that's right because I don't know. But basically, the important part is that as it stands right now, Disney has full control of Hulu.
Yes! That's exactly what we want, right?
And in 5 years, they may continue to have that control if they decide to buy Comcast shares.
Listen,
That's a bad thing.
I'm not an expert in antitrust laws or
It's a
government
bad
or
thing.
anything like that, but I think that the more Disney controls, the better.
No.
Do you guys remember
Media consolidation is bad.
Do you guys remember in Phantom Menace when Senator Palpatine was like all cool and stuff?
Wait,
and
Senator who?
Palpatine. You heard me?
Palpatine?
Yep.
Is that like a mix of Palpatine and Ovaltine?
Yep. He loved chocolate milk.
More
Fun fact.
Palpatine, please.
Fun fact. He was all cool and like he was like seemingly getting things like right and everything and taking control of stuff and everything's like, he's fine. He's just an old man that drinks chocolate milk.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That's what I thought.
And then, boom, he's the evil emperor. That's going to be Disney. It's fine. It's Disney. What are they going to do? It's Disney. It's just the mouse.
The only thing left for Disney
It's only a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're always good.
Did you say chocolate milk?
I did.
He did.
So now that's Palpatine and Ovaltine together. Palpatine.
That's what he said. That was the whole.
That was the joke.
That was the joke.
That was the joke.
I paid attention. I caught that reference.
Oh shit.
But yeah, so media consolidation is bad, and we should all be very worried, and I'm very upset. I don't understand how the government is going to let this happen. This is supposed to not be able to happen.
It's already happened. It's going down, and the only thing next is that Disney secedes from the union, and they just became their own individual country.
No, we have to
More or
secede
less.
from Disney. Disney is the union.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
true.
pretty much at this point.
California, we're fucked. California and Florida, sorry guys, you're just part of Disney.
I'd be down for it. Like, if Disney actually became its own state, that's literally the only thing left for them to conquer. They've done everything else, and there's
World
like
Domination.
actual stormtroopers as law enforcement. Like, it's ready to happen, and I'm here for it. I'd be a full supporter. I'd emigrate.
In an interview about all of this, I believe it was all about this, Bob Iger said that he had to go to Wikipedia to find everything they owned.
Ooh, jeez.
What?
They own so much that he
Wow.
was like, I had to check Wikipedia to see everything that we own.
That's no moon. That's a Disney park.
A floating Disney.
So, media consolidation, yay.
Is telling the news. That was the Emma's Telling the News theme song. Emma, full night rest. We got a full page of notes to go through here. Where do you want to start?
We'll start with the light stuff, the easy stuff. Well, I mean, it's all pretty light today. But Netflix is apparently coming to E3.
Hey, wait, what?
Yeah.
like they're gonna be
They're presenting at E3. They are hosting a panel.
wow.
So they had one of those like really cringe Twitter exchanges with E3 where it was like, you know, E3 is looking pretty cool. Can we get an invite? And then like the E3 Twitter account replies, it's like, yeah, you can come hang. What do you want to do? And then it was a whole thing. I was just like, okay, we get that you planned this.
That wasn't real?
What? So they went back and forth a bit, you know, with their little, what are we going to do? Let's hang out. I want to,
Wait,
whatever.
hang on. Was Robert Downey Jr.
No.
getting the Endgame to come out early planned too?
No, that was all real.
Oh, good. Okay. Scared me for a minute.
Worried.
So they kind of go back and forth. Netflix says that they would like to host a panel.
Okay.
And then E3 is kind of asking them like, oh, what do you want to talk about? And so basically Netflix mentions the upcoming Stranger Things game, which we've kind of known about for a while. But they say there's, quote, definitely more to come.
Okay, so let's start breaking this down. What franchises are Netflix exclusives that are wildly popular right now that could transition into video games?
The Umbrella Academy?
Hang on.
Okay.
Black Mirror?
Smart.
Although that's not
Oh.
Netflix exclusive, is it? Or is it?
I think it is.
I think it is.
Because
Yeah.
it used
Black
to be like BBC or something, didn't
I
it?
think so, but I think that one. Are you talking about the one where it was like a game and then you got
The
to choose?
Bandersnatch one.
Yeah, I think
that one was
is
Netflix
exclusive.
for sure.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I was wondering about. Because like as recently as last year, like last June, Netflix reps were saying that they had no interest in getting into games. They're like, in no uncertain terms are we ever getting into games.
Of course.
So I don't know, like, have they changed their mind, or are they going to present stuff like Bandersnatch or You versus Wild, like stuff like that, as gaming and things?
I could see them making the Bandersnatch experience like the next level, because that was basically a video game, and I could see how that would get the wheels turning for a bunch of other filmmakers or storytellers to want to use that tool, because it was a pretty cool thing, and they've only done it that once, and I haven't seen it again.
Well, I mean, that's what the whole entire show of You versus Wild is that.
Oh, is it really?
It's that Bear Grylls show where like it's a survival show and you have to make decisions on what he does, and like sometimes you'll make the right decision and sometimes you kill him.
Oh, snap.
No way!
I
Yeah.
totally
This
want
is
to
a
watch
thing?
it now.
Yeah.
I would watch that shit.
My smart TV doesn't have the ability for me to do interactive stuff like that, because I can't do Bandersnatch on it. I have to do it on like my tablet or something. And,
Oh.
yeah. So, okay, hang on though. I wouldn't write off the fact that instead of them coming out with games based on their properties, them coming out with a gaming service. Because I know, like, a year ago, there was like, nah, we're not going to do that. But then Google Stadia came out.
Hey, actually, that's pretty wise because they have the market share.
They have the
already.
market share and they have the infrastructure. All they need to do is add they were already done interactive with Bandersnatch, so that could have been a playtest. And now they know they can do something like that. So now they just need to expand on that. They have the streaming infrastructure. They have the servers.
They have the power. They have the capability.
They have the technology.
You know, I think that is possible. And I'm already way more excited about a Netflix stage show than anything that PlayStation could have came up with. Because that's essentially the hole they're filling, right? PlayStation said they're not doing it.
I don't know if they're going to have a press conference or... Because they said... they didn't say press conference. They said panel.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's just like interchangeable terms or if they're just going to have a panel at E3. Because there are plenty of panels at E3.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd like to see this thing. I think this has the potential to be a stage show if they did it right. Like,
It could be. I mean, they definitely have the money for it. They can afford it.
Netflix exclusive.
It is so goddamn expensive to have even like a booth at E3. It's ridiculous.
I'm going through here just to kind of refresh myself of the franchises that, you know, could turn into games. Orange is the New Black. Yeah. What about that? It could
Mobile
be
game.
Mobile game?
Really quick. I got to cut to the chat really quick because Sergeant Squiggle said something very on brand. Cut to 2023. Netflix Game Studio under fire for running their devs into death during development crunch.
That was a heavy episode. Looking at other things we got here. Narcos. That'd be sick. Mobile game. Probably.
Narcos?
Yeah,
Okay.
Narcos. Gilmore Girls, A Year in the Life.
Oh.
Dang, it'd be like The Sims, but you play as Rory and the other one.
Lorelai.
Boom.
That's literally what I was thinking of, except I want to put a spin on it and make it like a Telltale game. Same thing where you have to like make decisions.
Oh, snap!
Ooh.
I would totally not buy that game, but it would be a really cool idea.
Make it free to play so you don't have to buy it.
Fuller
That all
House.
sounds terrible.
They got Fuller House.
Oh, it's an interactive thing where you can bribe somebody to get your child into college.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh.
Yeah!
Oh, that's great.
Dang.
Yeah.
Emma with some sleep is a dangerous
That's
person.
when
I'm a little scared.
Look
of it, to be
out,
honest.
world.
Yeah.
Emma
You know,
with
don't
sleep.
fuck with college admissions and I won't be mad at you.
I thought you were going to say don't fuck with college. Don't fuck with college!
Now it's Silicon Valley.
Me and my real
Don't
degree
go
over
to
here.
college.
What else we got in the news?
More E3-ish kind of stuff. E3 adjacent. Skull and Bones, which we've all been so excited to hear more about, is fucking delayed. Again.
Oh.
This game is
Skull of Bones,
not happening.
like, in case anybody forgot, is it's Ubisoft's answer to Sea of Thieves, but way more realistic. I feel like it's basically all the time you spend on the pirate ship in Assassin's Creed Black Flag,
Exactly.
but then that's it.
Right, like they realized that there was such love for that game, and they were like everybody had so much fun with the sailing in that game. They're like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna make a whole game out of this.
Yeah.
And they did.
Because it even kind of looks like Assassin's Creed, and it has the same style, and it's cool. I really like it because I like Sea of Thieves, and then I like the fact that they're taking that same idea and then they're just giving you more options within the game. But I don't know.
So they bumped it back to the fiscal year 2020 to 2021.
Oh, jeez.
So the earliest we could see it is April 2020.
Damn.
This game was announced at E3 2017.
Hey, but you know what? At the same time, as much as we've been talking about people crunching and crazy hours and all that stuff, props to them for not putting out a bad product before it's ready and not stressing everybody the hell out.
Very good.
So
Very good.
so although we have to wait and although they announced it a long time ago, this is a win in a way.
That's really good. That's a good point that I didn't think of. Because, like, I wish they would be transparent about the reasons. Like, if you came out and said, like, hey, this is where we are in development, and we can either, A, work our employees to the bone, or we can push it back. Like, I'd be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, they didn't really give a reason for it. Because this
true.
was all from, like, an earnings call that the press was, listening in on. But, yeah, if there's a reason like that, I'm totally down for it. But just, like, tell people.
You got to be transparent. And honestly, if they do at this point, if they do come out and they say that is still a good flag in the ground for like, hey, you know, like this is why we're not doing it, and it puts I don't want to say it puts a positive spin, but it puts some positivity in that direction,
Right?
And hopefully influences others to follow suit.
Well, and on the flip side of that, at the same time, like, stop giving developers unrealistic time frames and then having to delay.
Absolutely.
Because I guarantee you the delays are not the developer's fault. It's corporate who says, hey, we have this time slot. This is where you're putting this game. And developers like, hey, we can't make it that fast. And they say, that doesn't matter. You're putting it here. And then it gets there and they're like, we could crunch and still not finish this game. So let's delay it. Stop giving your developers unrealistic time frames in which to make games. Listen to the developers when they say they need X amount of time or X amount of resources. Because I feel like this all just comes down from like corporate dudes that aren't actually making the games.
Totally, yeah. Because we all know that they get bonuses. We all know that there's sales, quarters and whatnot. And most of the time, those unrealistic ones are set like, hey, I'm putting this flag in the ground here. We need to come out the game because if I put it any later or in a different time, then I don't get that bonus and we don't meet that. Like, hey, that you took that corporate position. Like, if anybody's stressed and going crazy and everything,
should be you.
That's you. You get paid the big bucks. You get paid the big money. You can go to all the therapy and all the doctors and all the personal trainers that you need to stay healthy, but you don't put that back on the people.
I think me just reacting to this story is I'm not really interested in this game. I saw like the latest trailer they put out, and it looks like not fun Sea of Thieves. Like it seems like they put heavy emphasis on you go into the city, you assemble a crew, you buy the masts and ammunition and all this. Like there's a huge setup, and then basically you guys hit the open sea for a mission, and whether you make it or not. So it seems like it'll be the type of game that's pretty heavy, dependent on your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have it just seems too stressful.
Too ship simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Red Dead.
Exactly.
I think was a little heavy on the Cowboy Simulator.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, clearly there's a big market for that.
There is. That's true. Farm Simulator 2000. Clearly, people love that game.
Yeah.
You joke, but there actually are a lot of people that love Farm Simulator.
I'm being 100% serious.
Yeah.
Joey Ferris, fan of the show,
yeah,
loves that game.
And then there was also some more stuff with Ubi, right? Like
yes.
A big Jebait.
So this is weird.
So weird.
Basically, a creative director at Ubisoft. So somebody that knows what's going on and somebody who should be in a position to talk about these things if they, knowing these things. So Julian Garrity is a creative director at Ubisoft, and he tweeted a couple photos with a couple different people with the caption, I gotta read this as he wrote it so you can get an idea of his frame of mind.
Paint us a word picture, Emma.
So he says, quote, working on the next hashtag Splinter Cell with at Danny Haynow and at Romkamore and hashtag Leon. Can't wait for hashtag E3 crossover with hashtag The Crew 2 with at Fergus. Smiley face. Only missing Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six, but on their way. Hashtag Far Cry, hashtag For Honor, hashtag The Division 2, hashtag Rainbow Six Siege, hashtag Ghost Recon.
Jeez. What a tweet.
Right?
He just wanted this thing to get seen by hashtagging every Ubi game.
So the important part of that obviously being working on the next Splinter Cell game, which has not been announced.
Yeah, and we haven't seen a Splinter Cell in years.
So,
or have you? That's how stealth they are.
And then to lend even more credence to it, Ubisoft Montreal creative director Dan Hay, who I believe is the at Danny Hay now, retweeted it. And then 30 minutes later, the original guy tweets, okay, please don't retweet. I may be in trouble. And it's eventually pulled.
There was a picture of there, too, of them, like, cracking beers and partying.
Okay, see, that's the important part, is because there's two pictures, and in one of them, they both have glasses of wine.
Yeah.
I'm like, you were drunk when you tweeted this.
They were drunk tweeting, basically. You had some of the most powerful people at Ubisoft. Like, wouldn't it be funny?
We gotta get this for the tweet, man. We gotta do this. Hashtag.
He says they got this big E3 announcement. What if we just came in and told everybody?
So funny, bro.
It would go viral.
Bro, we're gonna do it.
And they did it. So a lot of people very excited. A lot of people got very hype about it.
Tons of articles written about like, oh my God, Splinter Cell's coming back.
Yes, because there's a lot of love for the Splinter Cell series, and a lot of people have been begging for it to come back. True. And like we've had like, quick little snippets of, the franchise is getting the love that it deserves, and like, but no, like, hey, we're making a new game, we're doing this, this is happening. So I was reading an article from PC Gamer, and they reached out to Ubisoft, who told them, quote, Julian was obviously joking, as Julian likes to do. It looks like our creative directors are having fun right now. We do not have any announcements to make at this time.
Okay.
Oh, I love
that
it.
Julian.
I love
That just
it.
seems like they're like, oh shit. No. He's just kidding. Ignore him. He's fine. He's fine.
He's not drunk either. He's doing that thing where he acts like he's drunk.
It's grape juice.
We love it around the office.
We love that
Julian.
guy.
Julian.
He's a real morale booster.
It's what we call him, Julian the Joker.
JJ.
So funny.
JJ.
What's funny is that this tweet, I'm sure, like from the social media side, came from the top.
Yeah.
This wasn't just their, minimum wage social media guy putting out this tweet. This one was carefully composed again. And when you break it down, Julian was obviously joking, as Julian likes to do. Says everything right there. That they're pretty annoyed.
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
Julian.
I just like that. Please don't retweet. I may be in trouble. But that didn't he tweeted that, but didn't delete the original tweet until much later.
Props to him for leaving it up, sticking to his guns.
No, hang on. Let's not give him too much props because he was probably drunk. Oh fuck! Hang on, guys. Don't say anything. I might be in trouble. I'm not thinking.
Just among us friends.
And then
don't tell anyone.
And then somebody said, "What the fuck are you doing? Go take that tweet down."
Down, Julian.
Oh, Julian.
What the fuck?
What else we got in the news, Emma?
So there's a new Mortal Kombat movie coming out, apparently.
Boo!
Wait a minute. Calm down. Slow your roll. It's not the same people who did the game. We should be okay, right?
Is it the same
It's
people that did the last
definitely
movie?
the same people who did the game. It's the same company.
No.
You think it's a different movie called Mortal Kombat? It's just a love story this summer.
Netherrealm has
We got.
zero stake in this, even though it's their game and their characters and their history.
That's true. Didn't they come out and say, "Yeah, we have no part of this"?
No, that'd be terrible. That was Doom.
Doom,
Oh,
that
that
was
was
Doom.
Doom.
feature.
With
See?
the new
That's
shitty
right,
Doom
that's right.
movie.
Yeah, see, so if Doom is so far removed from their movie rights, I don't think it would be fair to give this movie until we know that it's Ed Boon in the director's chair or something. I think it deserves a fair shot because. And Curtis, I think we talked about it on the video game movie. That's a legit movie. The original Mortal Kombat.
It was absolutely, and it's funny because right now, as we began to talk about this, I was thinking, would I like Paul W.S. Anderson to come back? And then I think of the last Resident Evil movie, and I'm a fan, and I love all of those movies for the good or bad, but that last one was unbearable. So let's not have him come back for this either.
And then who else they can't have is that one hack that blocked us all on Twitter.
Bowl?
UA Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep him away from it. But this seems right up his alley, doesn't it? Based off the other shit he's done.
Does. I will tell you one person that I would that there is one person, one filmmaker, quasi filmmaker, short filmmaker that I would like to get their hands on this, which could make it really dope.
Shia LaBeouf.
I'm not opposed to it. I like Shia. The guy that did the Power Rangers short film where it was all serious and they were really dying and killing each other and stuff like that. I want to say his last name is Shankar. I'll look it up. All I remember is every time he does interviews, he totally has goth runny makeup and stuff all across his eyes. But if anybody who's listening right now or watching right now live on Twitch, if you guys have seen that Power Rangers short film, which was super realistic, where they were all killing each other and dying and stuff like that, it was incredible. He would be perfect for actually very good Mortal Kombat. And it kind of make it, wow, this is a little bittersweet, Game of Thrones-esque.
Oh, no.
Before this season,
all right.
before season 8.
All right.
So on this Mortal Kombat movie, so pre-production is starting. So they're not even super into it yet, but pre-production starts next week. They're filming in Australia. I guess they're filming in Adelaide, and this is supposed to be the biggest project Adelaide has ever had.
Okay.
I don't know if that means anything because I don't know what else has been done in Adelaide. But it's being produced by James Wan and directed by a newcomer director whose name I'm going to butcher, Simon McQuad?
Nailed it.
McQuad?
He's
McCoy.
McCoy.
I'm going French with it.
Bones.
McQuad.
McQuad.
This dude, he really is a newcomer because his IMDb page just says Mortal Kombat.
Well, all right.
He has not done it. They pulled this guy off the streets.
Yeah, they really did.
This guy, they got high at a McDonald's, and this was the manager. He's like, did I hear you guys say Mortal Kombat? Because I've had some ideas on a movie. And then he pitched, and they were like, God damn, Simon McCoy.
Throw in all the free apple pies you can, and it's a deal.
Change it from McCoy to McQuan. You're going to be a fucking You're gonna be a
You're
star,
good.
kid.
That's so. Hey, but real talk though, James Wan producing, especially after he just came off of Aquaman, he's got momentum.
Yeah.
Adi Shankar was the name of that director, that filmmaker that I was talking about. This is.
I want him just to reboot the original storyline. I don't want any of this new shit.
Okay.
You
They're
know,
100% not going to do that.
please just reboot the original.
Why?
Like, there's
It was terrible. Like, that movie was...
no.
It actually wasn't
No,
that
it
bad.
wasn't. It was not that bad.
Now
Emma.
the second one, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Oh
Dumpster
my
fire.
god!
I've never seen either of them.
Don't
Wait, you haven't seen the
watch.
first one?
Why would I watch a video game movie from the 90s?
Why would you? You have to ask that a question? Yeah, to laugh at. Have you seen the Mario movie?
No.
Oh my
you
God.
have
Okay,
to.
so we're trying to figure out what to do for our once Game of Thrones ends. I'd say we do like a movie
Absolutely
club.
not. I'm not dedicating time in my life to this.
I think if we all like went round robin and picked a movie of the week and then we review it, I think that'd be sick.
I'd be down.
Especially video games, right up our alley.
I'm with it.
Emma's only gonna pick documentaries. She's like, if I have to sit here and put time into this, I'm gonna make y'all smarter.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No,
Hey,
we're going to do the HBO series Chernobyl.
Actually,
that does look
Actually-
really
watch
good.
Chernobyl.
that's
Real
actually
Been watching
probably.
I haven't yet. I was gonna wait until Game of Thrones is done.
I watched. I saw. This is relatable because Ninja plays video games.
Okay.
Boom. He tweeted, "Just watched Chernobyl. Can't believe this actually happened."
Oh my god! Are you kidding me?
I want to watch the show now because apparently it gets real.
Yeah, I want to see that. It looks
They
good.
actually.
It's real.
They actually detonated a nuclear bomb for the show. Fun fact.
There was no nuclear detonation at Chernobyl.
Meltdown. Whatever.
All right. I guess we do need to watch this show for David's edification.
Okay. Well, they can't build another nuclear plant and then melt it down just for the show. So they just did nuclear detonation to simulate
Nuclear.
nuclear. I grew up in the age of George W.
Nuclear.
W.
Nuclear. Wow.
What's that Simpson? He's like, nuclear. It's pronounced nuclear. And I'm like, no, it's not.
What is it? Nuclear?
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Nuclear. Learn something new every day, folks.
The more you know.
But great segue back to the Mortal Kombat movie.
It's gonna be great. I think we need to make Emma watch the original.
Absolutely not.
I don't think it'll be as good as Detective Pikachu. It won't be as regarded as highly. And I am sketched because, like, we reported on that last episode about the Mortal Kombat Neatherrealm Studios controversy. We didn't even cover the worst of it.
No, we did not.
there was, like-
well, we covered a lot.
We covered a lot of bad shit, but,
But there was a part that we left out because
Yeah.
we just didn't know about it.
well, I guess we can't just tease them with it. Well, it was
Yeah, we can. Next story.
So one of the worst things about it. So if you know Mortal Kombat, you're aware of the gore. You're aware, like, that's the
Oh, yeah,
game's
that.
niche is
Yeah.
like hyper violence. Gore to the extreme. So when the developers and the animators are working on these scenes, like, they are first of all having to animate this horrible gory shit all day, hours on end, and at the same time, like, working 100-hour work weeks with no days off for months on end. But the way that they get, to animating those is by watching and seeing real life violence.
research.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, doing research.
Right.
So some guy was talking to Kotaku about, like, you'd walk by, an animator's room and he's just watching videos of hangings.
Oh.
Or, studying cow slaughterings or car crash victims. One of the developers had an issue where he did eventually get therapy for it, and he was actually diagnosed with PTSD, and he couldn't look at his dog without seeing all of, like, the viscera that make up his dog. Like, he couldn't look at his dog without seeing all of its
the
guts
inner
and
So
blood. And,
unfortunate.
Yeah.
like, it
That's a
just
side you
fucked
don't
with
really
him.
think about. Like, if you're making
Right.
a game about pirates, you probably got to study some pirate shit. You know, if you're going to animate a boat, and if the dudes who are programming how would the blood splatter if
Right.
a chain came through the back of the neck up through the eyeball,
What does it look like when they have gout or dysentery?
Yeah. Oh.
So it's funny because I was actually talking to my mom about this because we were on the phone for a while and she had listened to the show. So we just got to talking about it, and she mentioned that in the Air Force, people that work on on intel have what's called airman resilience teams, and it's basically where these offices will have people on staff, whether it's a chaplain or a psychologist of some sort, who's on staff to help these people deal with what they're seeing every day. Because it's not the same as being in combat, deployed, but where you're there and that's where you are and that's your life for however many months. But basically, you have to sit at your computer and watch whatever you're watching, and then go home at the end of the day to your family,
and be normal,
learning how to deal with that. So the Air Force has implemented a way to help these airmen deal with that. And if you're gonna have a game where you're forcing people to look at things that people really aren't meant to see, for hours and hours at a time, you have to have some sort of safety net in place and realize what that's going to do to the human psyche. But as we covered in the last episode, Neatherrealm doesn't care. No, they don't care about these people. They are disposable.
So I don't want to go down that rabbit hole too much again, but we just wanted to update on that one because I thought that was definitely interesting. So we got something happy though, right? We got something to follow that up.
We do. But don't forget that when you see the new Mortal Kombat movie coming out, don't forget about that. In brighter news, I guess the Nintendo Switch has officially outsold the PS4 in Japan.
Let's go.
Despite PlayStation having a 3-year head start.
Jesus.
Crazy to
and
me.
Probably slightly better games. More better games.
Yes, more games and better games.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, so I guess if it's official as of this week or something that the Switch has officially crushed it in sales.
That's insane.
I cannot believe how much the Switch sells.
I know.
I can't believe.
You're the only
crazy.
one that doesn't have one.
Apparently. That's what happened with the Wii. Everybody had a Wii, and I was like, do I need a Wii? I think I need a Wii. Well, and I got a Wii, and I never touched it.
Who's buying these, and what are they playing? Because it doesn't seem like there's a game.
There's 4 games.
I can't imagine they're all playing Smash. I mean, most of them probably.
It's between Mario Odyssey, definitely Breath of the Wild, even still.
Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
True.
Smash.
And I could always find a Tetris match.
Right?
Is that still happening?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny that we're talking about this too because I saw somebody on Twitter today talking about how they're so sick of all of the crappy games that are on the Nintendo eShop. He goes I get that Nintendo made a promise saying we're gonna have X amount of games come out every week, but at a certain point you gotta look at quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And I would much rather have a couple games come out a month rather than 100 games come out a week that are just shit. And it's true. I've gone through the eShop. I'm I don't want any of these games.
You're technically it's a game.
I mean, you
but
do
that's
stuff
about
with it.
Yeah, the portability of it and the fact that it is so portable and you can go and just set it up any other place is pretty clutch. I mean, I do have to say there's been more than one time where I just took it over to someone's place, totally brought an extra set of Joy-Cons, and we did play Mario Kart, or we did play Mario Kart Party or Smash.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus the price point. The price point is just that $300. I mean, that's how they did the DS and all those other things. They come in, they get a few really solid games, and then and then they'll try to give you a little bit of a back catalog, make it backwards compatible, and then just bring that price right where the mamas and the papas like it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But when I want to talk about how Nintendo makes the same 3 games every 5 years, nobody wants to listen to me.
It's true, they do, but they do them well because I was trying to think what game is coming out this year that's gonna blow it out, and it's gonna be Pokemon Shield and Sword. That's a huge one, I think. Yeah. And now they already have the infrastructure of player base with the console, so don't be surprised when the story 1 week out is that this game's breaking records in Japan and shit because people have the system, and that's going to be the next big game, so we'll see how far it can push. But besides that, is there anything else you guys know of coming out for Nintendo?
I wouldn't know.
No.
Yeah, Emma, anything?
I got nothing.
Anything you're looking forward to?
Wait. I bet I can guess the next thing that Nintendo's making. So
Mario
they're making
Kart 9.
Yeah, they're making the Pokemon. We just heard that. They're going to come out with another Mario Kart. I bet they're going to come
an official
out,
one now that's not just the deluxe.
They're going to come out with another Mario World or Maker or something.
Oh, Mario Maker is coming.
Yeah,
okay,
Mario Maker 2.
Mario Maker 2.
Yeah.
They're going to come out with what's another fucking Nintendo for? They're
Kirby?
all the fucking same. Kirby, there'll be a Kirby game. They make the same fucking 4 games over and over and over again, and people are like, "Oh, what an amazing company. I love it." And then they shit on all these other companies that have 80,000 IPs, and they're like, "You can't make anything new."
Why are you
understand
mad
it.
about this, though?
I'm not mad at Nintendo. I'm mad at other people that like hold it up as like the best company, but then shit on all these other companies that have more new IPs and tell them like Xbox doesn't have anything fucking new, PlayStation doesn't have anything new, but my Nintendo Switch is the best thing in the world. I don't fucking understand Nintendo fans.
I think
Deep
all
breath.
Simple.
I
Deep
think maybe Nintendo. It's a little more
Don't know where that came
prevalent,
from.
because their characters are bright and bubbly. But all of them do the same thing. Xbox, Microsoft has had the same IPs floating around, being their top sellers forever too.
Right, Halo and all that stuff. I mean, that's what you do when you
Yeah,
find
but like
something
there's a difference
successful,
between
right?
your main IPs being your top seller and then being your only games.
There's other
Nintendo.
games.
Yeah, there's
You
tons
got
of other games.
Are
Like,
there?
2K. You got all
There
sorts
are.
of stuff.
And they're big on, and like, one thing that I mean, they made it a point and they stuck to it is, yeah, there's going to be crappy games, especially when you push indie games. Like, there's going to be people that, I mean, it's the same thing on the iPhone and Android market, right? Like, there's people that just want to get on the market, so they throw together something and they throw it out. When you are the person that has the market, I mean, you can do quality control, but only to like a certain degree, especially when like your market is very, very small. But I mean, there's plenty of good games on the Switch. And not only that, another thing that they do, which isn't exclusive to them, but, like Dramatic Ogre said in the chat, they do have other stuff like Warframe, which is a game that's been out for years, but it's still a solid game.
Minecraft.
Wait, Warframe is on the Switch.
And it's dope, too.
Space Ninjas?
Yes, Space Ninjas.
Cuphead went over there. I just pulled up a
yeah.
list of the Nintendo's best sellers right now.
Yeah.
And the top ones listed are Cuphead is number 1, Final Fantasy 12, The Zodiac Age, and
I like
Mortal
the
Kombat
pause
11.
of you reading the Roman numerals.
Stop
there.
it! Why did you have to call me out on that, Emma? I was
Final
like,
Fantasy
He's an
X11?
XII.
XII?
The X is 10, 2 I's is a
They got-
2, and that makes 12. Final Fantasy 12.
they have Dark Souls. There's tons of good stuff. Rocket League holding it down. Katamari. Skyrim. Yeah, no, they got tons of other stuff. I think you're just choosing to focus. And they're about to have Crash Team Racing, Emma. You love that game.
I do. I'm very excited for Crash Team Racing.
Get a Switch and play it.
Why would I get a Switch? I'm going to play it on my Xbox.
I mean, I do have to say that, like, I got a buddy who wanted to get a new console, and he was talking about how he was thinking about getting a Switch. I was like, the Switch is cool. Don't get me wrong. We even played a little bit at my place and like played Super Smash and stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's cool, but if you can spend that money, I would get an Xbox.
Yeah.
And you have more variety.
Apparently people in Japan would not, because the console race has been very much between Switch and PlayStation. Xbox is like not on the board.
Well, yeah.
People in Japan apparently do not like the Xbox. There were more PS Vitas sold recently than there were Xbox One and Xbox One S's.
That's
The
actually
number,
pretty
it was
wild.
like 382 Xbox One S's versus like 1,088 PS Vitas. I'm like,
Holy
who's buying
crap.
a PS Vita still?
But see,
I lost mine.
but honestly, okay, so think about it. Now think about it from the not just Nintendo fan, but the Nintendo company perspective. You have this mobile device that you've built up a library of games for, and now it's cheaper. Like, we see how big mobile gaming got with mobile. I mean, like, with phones and tablets and stuff like that. It's literally just an extension of that. And the biggest thing really is convenience, because obviously it's not stronger, it's not more powerful, and it doesn't have a bigger library, but it's got a sufficient and strong library. It's got a few, like, a handful of IPs that are super strong, and every time they put out a new game, they add new mechanics and stuff like that people really take to. And then from there, you just keep that price low.
Nintendo it's not like this is a new strat. This is what they've done.
They've been doing this.
Always been the weakest console.
Yep, always.
Always underpowered. Always the most proprietary.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't fuck around with that shit. But it looks like they're gonna have a strong year. Crash Team Racing coming out this year. Super Mario Maker 2, Ultimate Alliance 3, that Marvel game. That's
Oh my god, that's fucking Switch exclusive.
It's gonna be so
Why?
good, Emma. You
Why?
haven't played the originals. Play the originals, please. They're available
I'm
on
not
Xbox.
saying that game doesn't need to exist. I'm saying, why is it a Switch exclusive?
Oh, because
Money.
Disney-
Well, yeah, I mean, they did some
Everybody
deal with
Disney,
Nintendo, but like,
Nintendo.
why
yeah.
the fuck make that a
Just a
Switch
matter of
exclusive?
time.
Just like fuck everybody else, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck everybody else. That's how business works.
That's how Nintendo operates. Fuck everybody else. Fuck bitches make money.
Alpha David, calm down.
I'm saying that. I'm quoting Isla Schlesinger.
Not
Isla
one part of
Schlesinger?
that was right.
Isla Schlesinger?
This is a Jackson moment.
Eliza.
That's not even close. what I said.
Eliza Scherzinger.
Eliza Schislinger.
Why
Not
is
what I
Eliza
said, but
Scherzinger?
okay.
She says it in her bit, so it's fine.
The last 3 biggies coming out, though, too. I got to get to these. Animal Crossing to the Switch.
Oh, that's right.
So much fucking hype on that game. Pokemon Sword and Shield, as I mentioned before, and Metroid Prime 4.
I will say, speaking of Pokemon, I will say watching Detective Pikachu really made me want to go home and play Pokemon. I didn't, but it made me want to.
It made me want to rewatch Pokemon 2000.
Because it's connected.
Because
Same universe.
there is a connection with Pokemon 2000. I think. Like, I didn't look up and see if it's right, but I saw there's a line in the movie and I went, oh, so it's connected to that movie. Okay.
We officially have a PCU.
Was there
Pokemon Cinematic Universe.
Was there a actual Pokemon battle in the movie where they yell moves and they do them?
I will not say yes or no.
Oh, is that a spoiler?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if people want to know that in chat. I'll tell you.
Okay. Tell me after the show. What else we got? Anything else?
The last thing in here is something you put in. I don't know what that is.
Which one?
Oh, that was me. I put that in as a
that's
little
something Curtis put in.
as a little segue into what we do at the end of the show. I just put in here how Jonathan Hickman, who is a very well-known writer, he wrote Infinity, which in the Infinity War movie took a lot of that storyline and put it in. As well as like the most, he actually wrote the most. Basically, Jonathan Hickman was the last writer at Marvel that wrote books that actually sold a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's coming back to the main Marvel line, and it's talking about this is an article from CBR, Comic Book Resources. Hickman explains why he convinced Marvel to cancel the entire X-Men line.
So that happened a while back ago, right? And I think we covered it on the show. They canceled X-Men.
Yeah.
Like years ago, and we were all thinking it had to do with the movies, like trying to choke out the movies and not give them any steam.
Right. Well, it did, but X-Men books came back. They've been back for about like a year, maybe a little over a year. I know Iceman had his own individual book. There was at least 2 different X-Men team books. Obviously, Wolverine came back to life because it's comics.
He has to. Yeah.
So all of that stuff, and then we even got another old man Logan out of that, which okay. But anyway, so they've been back, but since they've been back, they haven't been selling well. And I mean, even just walking into the comic book store and looking around, like there wasn't a lot of X-Men stuff, a lot of fervor or excitement for them. So for someone, and more, and we'll talk a little bit more about here, but they're gonna cancel the whole X-Men comic line. That's currently going on. Jonathan Hickman had a few quotes from this that I think are really insightful. He went on to explain how relaunching just a new number 1 wouldn't be enough, and he says, in the spirit of what works, quote unquote, and also what the market is used to, I didn't feel like just doing a new number 1 was enough. He said, I also didn't think that if we were serious about what we were trying to do, that we should have a mixed message in the market on what an X book is. And that was a complaint that I heard from quite a few people that are really, really like into the X-Men line. It's basically like before, in the days of Len Wein and Chris Claremont, or even if you want to take it all the way back to Jack Kirby and Stan Lee that, literally created X-Men. As people got away from that, especially now, how comic book companies do. Okay, that's hot. Throw this a book and throw another one. And before we knew what the X-Men felt like, even if you watched the comic book and all that stuff, it felt cohesive, and it hasn't really felt like that since they brought it back. So Jonathan Hickman basically walked in there and was like, "Look, if we want to." There's two main things in Marvel Comics out of place right now. Fantastic Four is way out of place, and X-Men is not prominent either. How do we bring them back to that? We have to be uniform on the message. So he had him cancel the whole entire line.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Like
it's one way to do
it. that is one way to do it. And he goes on to talk a little bit more about. He argued canceling the entire line, why it would work, why it was a good idea. Most importantly, why was it that we needed to do a to narratively return the X-Men to their rightful position in the Marvel universe? Now, part of it is pretty obvious, like you alluded to earlier. Fox all went over to Disney. Well, a large portion of it, definitely the characters return. So now that they have Fantastic Four, who was the last person to write a good Fantastic Four story? Jonathan Hickman.
I hope you don't think any of us know that.
No, it's totally rhetorical. Jonathan Hickman. He was the last person to do that as well. So it all makes sense that they already said it's going to be about possibly 5 years before we see X-Men movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, why don't we have him come back and start getting people actually buying the comics again and really, really enjoying them? And then also, obviously, they took parts of Infinity and used it in Endgame and in Infinity War. So also, why wouldn't you have him create new stuff that you can actually turn around and just use?
Yeah. So is it kind of a fallacy that anything that they could write in story and comics would really make it come back as much as creating a new movie would? Like, I have a feeling that canceling it all is probably a good idea, just to like give everybody a cool off period.
Yeah. And
then launch heavy once you start announcing the new X-Men movies. Because I have a feeling, just based off of Gen Pop, that people see a movie and then that inspires them to go buy comics, which is why you see so many Guardians of the Galaxy comics right now. So you never saw them before.
What's interesting about this is I like literally for the last, I would say 4 to 5 months, I've been crunching hard, well, actually, I'll say that really more like over the last year and a half, especially when Infinity War hit. My expectation as a comic book fan and seeing a market that is dying is, hey, this is going to get people back in to buy comics, right? Like, obviously. Honestly, it hasn't really. The comic book industry is still dying. Comic book stores are closing at a rapid rate. Like, it's really, really a struggle. And part of that is, comic book sales, people aren't really interested. But something like this, if you're selling well, this guy leaves, then you put out a bunch of books. With the exception of a few, they don't really sell well. Naturally, what would you do? Well,
call him back,
and that's what they're doing. So it's a natural move. It makes sense. By the way, it's coming quick because House of X and Power of X are on sale in July.
All right. Well, that was quick.
Yes, it was.
Wow. So Curtis, I put a lot of thought into creating a theme song that would be appropriate for Oblivion and Comics, Curtis's comic book corner.
You're so nice.
So without any further ado, the new theme song for CCC. Comic Corner.
Woo!
That is, of course, the brand new Special Cases Approved Curtis's comic book theme song.
Hey, I'm all about it. Shout out to Oblivion Comics and Coffee. They always provide us with super dope comics. This week is it's only one. We got Daredevil #5, written by Chip Zdarsky, and the art we have. I'm gonna try not to botch this last name. Marco Cicchetto.
Okay.
I hope that's what it is.
I'll take your word for it.
Thank you. I'll let you try to pronounce it as it comes around.
No, she's just going to make it sound French.
Hey, which might not be bad. We'll see. Who knows?
Make it sound French. People believe you.
What's funny is to segue out of what we just came into. I have not read anything that Chip Zdarsky has ever written. I've heard his name a lot recently. I am a fan of Daredevil and just the character. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I saw a thing from Chip Zdarsky saying, I was there when Jonathan Hickman announced to the whole group what he wanted to do. I walked up to him, I slapped him in the face, blood around down his lip, and he said, "You were born a weakling and you'll die a coward." And I ran away.
What the
fuck?
But that's a peek into the mind. I mean, like, these guys are writers, right? They're gonna be verbose and go over the top with it. But it's funny because that line sounded so much like something Jonathan Hickman would write. So naturally, I'm like, I definitely want a Chip Zdarsky book. Laura hooks me up with it, and I have to say, my goodness, I am so glad again that I took a chance on something that I'm not really familiar with. This book starts off in a really interesting spot. I'll tell you now, in this book, Matt Murdock has killed a man. Daredevil has killed a man. It is known. Him with his Catholic background, he is soaking in like grief, self-hate, pity, and it's to the point where immediately after that happened, he got into a fight with the police. So he's like, in his mind, you see him going through the fact it's like, I know this isn't part of the law, but like I'm not Punisher. I don't break the law, but I do operate in between the seams of the law and the cracks.
There's a gray area, and that's where you operate.
That's where he operates. I like that quote. Good reference. And he's, convincing himself in his mind why it's okay that he is the vigilante that he is, while he's beating up these bad guys. Naturally, everybody thinks that he's dead as well now. That part I don't know because this is issue 5 and I hadn't read the rest. Shows up at a drug dealer's door, knocks it down, starts a fight with him, chases him, and he's in a lot of pain. He's on pain medication. Eventually, like, he gets knocked out by the dude, and right when he thinks it's over and he's like, I'm gonna go out in a blaze of glory. So dope. Yeah.
I just got to that page.
The Defenders show up. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Danny Rand, Iron Fist totally show up, and it's crazy because naturally, like Emma's expression, you're excited and you're like, oh heck yeah, but him, the second that he comes to, and Danny's like, hey, I just put some Kunlun bandages on you, can you not unbandage yourself? And you see him talking to them, and then you see his dialogue in his mind. They know I'm a murderer, they're here to take me in. And then he starts talking like, you know what, I knew it was gonna happen, I'm glad it's you guys instead of someone else taking me in. And they're like, dude, we're here to check on you. Like, you're fighting cops. You're going nuts. Like, what's going on? You have to draw the line. And he's like...
He's wearing a Punisher t-shirt?
Yeah, he is. And
it's a little on the nose.
Right. Which is funny because I was like, okay, that must be part of what I didn't read. And he says... And then they point it out and he's like... Oh, I didn't even know. I just grabbed a shirt because I needed to run out the house.
That's crazy.
Guys.
That's good, man.
A little on the nose.
It's really good. But at the end of it, it's really cool. Naturally, he goes to the bathroom, acts like everything's good. He jumps out the window and he's gone. Naturally, he goes to a church. He's trying to talk to the priest, and and I love that dialogue that they have. Matthew, this is vengeance. This isn't justice. You come in here dressed like a devil to try to hide what you're really doing, and as if it's not you. And dude, the talk at the end, and then finally someone comes to stop him, put it into it. I won't say who it was, but I was so surprised, and I was very, very surprised about the few encouraging words that this very important figure left him with. Read this book, buy the first floor, and get it at Oblivion Comics and Comics.
Hey! What else they give you?
That was it. I just got that one this week. Yep, just Daredevil.
All right. Well, now I want to go just flip to the back of the book because you sold it so well.
Heck yeah, man.
Thank you guys for listening, and thank you so much to the raid. Zombie Girlie hooked us up big time, and she has a great audience. They've been very respectful. We didn't have to do nothing crazy. They only interrupted the show once.
She keeps a good community.
She does keep a good community. I think we've hosted her in the past, right?
Yes.
Cool. So if you guys like twitch.tv, you can hang out with us live on Wednesdays and Saturdays, interact with us. We do an after show as well where we do more interaction type based content. So you can do that on twitch.tv/videogamebang Tuesdays. No, not Tuesdays. I can't even think. What's wrong with me today? I didn't get a full night's sleep like Emma. Emma, you want to handle the outro?
Didn't get half a day's sleep.
I didn't get 12 hours worth of sleep. Got to give a shout out to my boys, the San Francisco Shock. That's where I was at this last weekend. I was down in Burbank for the Stage 2 finals, and they fucking did it. They had a perfect season, go in, and they take down a team that hasn't been beat in like 2 years.
That's crazy. Something
crazy like that. And it was a storybook ending. But now there's 2 stages left. Now they got to do it 2 more times. So shout out to them. And Emma, what's your stream schedule looking like?
Tomorrow and probably Friday, 1 p.m. I got a lot of sewing to do. I have a little bit of sewing and a lot of crafting.
Gotta get ready for Fanime.
Yes, I did not realize until yesterday that it's next weekend.
Calendar.
David, what's your plan?
I actually flinched when she did that. I think I'm streaming tomorrow. Borderlands 1.
Okay, you still trucking through the Borderlands 1?
Yeah, well, because we only play it like once a month.
No,
Schedules, man. Being an adult is hard.
Being an adult is super hard. Curtis, what's it looking like over there, man?
Shout out to the Kingsguard. They beat an undefeated team today, too. Let's go.
Did they?
Yeah, we beat the Pacers.
Nice.
So we're looking really, really good. And BP went for 41, and he hit 11 of 15 three-pointers. I pretty much feel like, me and David Webb are, especially now that he's playing 2K again, we're actually reserves for them. So
basically,
that's why we're talking about it. My stream schedule's screwed. My health has declined again. So I'll stream when I can, when I get a full night's sleep.
I'm ready to stream again, man. The Bachelorette I think, is back,
Okay.
which clears up my Mondays. So I'll be getting back on that stream grind. And we got some breaking news in the chat here from Jay. He says an NBA 2K tournament at the California State Fair.
Hey, that's our shot.
There it is.
That's our 8 Mile moment.
We're getting in. Mom
Yeah.
spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. I ain't having no spaghetti that day.
Nope.
Patreon.com/videogamebang. If you enjoy the show and you want to help support some starving artists, you can go to patreon.com, and we'll be doing bonus content after we get through Game of Thrones, which will end this next weekend. Thank God. We're going to put that dog out of its misery, and then maybe we'll move on to Chernobyl.
No, he was already out of his misery this past episode.
At this point, I just need a reason to not cancel HBO Go. Like, there's really no other reason to have it at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But that's it for the real David Webb, Curtis Fisher, Emma Skies. My name is Cory, saying you've just been banged.